Hi, everybody. This is the Comic Book Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, and welcome back to the Comic Book Hut. Hopefully, like this video and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to talk about the first 5 issues of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero from Image Comics, Volume 1. Of course, Image, and it's written by Larry Hama. This is a series that's been bought by, and a property bought out by Robert Kirkman. Is one of the most popular books in the mainstream that's out there. You also have G.I. Joe and a whole slew of books. Duke, Cobra Commander. This is part of the Energon series of books that includes the Transformers. Now, I am a big fan of G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, the original series. I know that they put out a Kickstarter about a few years back with all the issues in it. The first, I guess, 100 issues they put out, and it was very successful. And you know, it's weird because the original series, I tried to get it on trade, and it is impossible to get it. Possible to get it. It's one of the more difficult series to find in trade. Now, this is a trade, and I like getting the trades because, you know, I have all the stories here. The cost is much better for me. And cost is good for everybody, really. And this came out about a year and a half ago, or maybe 2 years ago now. And it's, like I said, it's written by Larry Hama, who's really the creator of the series. He's been on most of the stories. He created most of the G.I. Joe characters. This series was an IDW. The stories weren't great. You know, that wasn't some of his best work. It was very politically charged. I know there's a lot of sort of woke politics surrounding some of these books. It's not so much in your face. I know it's scarlet. It is. Now, I went through this book, in these 5 issues, 301 to 305. It has action in it, but it is slow paced. I like stuff and it drags out. The one thing that's different from comics years ago is you get one book and you get a story, but they do everything for the trade. Now, G.I. Joe, which is interesting, back in the 80s, once Larry got a handle on the characters, he would give you a full story, but then he would move the story along. These particular issues, you get that, but it drags. It drags to a certain degree. But, you know, comics are so bad right now. This is you're going to pay attention to a book that's well written like this. The artwork isn't bad. It's a little too sketchy for my taste. You know, I know that's the style today. But that's my own taste. You got really 3 problems that the Joes are dealing with. We got, of course, Cobra, led by Cobra Commander. Then we have a separate version of Cobra led by the Serpent, Serpentor Khan. And we have Destro still out there with the Baroness. And then we had this other group, Revenge, and then like computerized villains. Well, they hook up in these series of books with the group led by the Serpentor. And what happens is the book opens up and Serpentor and Dr. Mindbender set off a zombie bomb on Cobra Island. And it turns everyone into sort of, cannibalistic zombies. And they hook up with the Revenge, and they become cyborgs. That's pretty interesting. Now, I'm not big on cyborgs, but this book takes 4 issues because, with Serpentor, they decide they're going to invade Springfield where Cobra's based, and it takes forever to get there. It takes forever for them to get to Springfield. Okay? And that's a drag. To me, that's a drag. By the 3rd issue, they should have been going there. You know, they just dragged it out to get there. We have Joes that are sort of in between. There's this this, I guess, Joe that's named Dawn. Not a lot of creativity there for Larry. The one thing I really did not like was the fact that Snake Eyes talks. They still don't show his face, but I don't need to hear Snake Eyes talking. Okay, what made Snake Eyes so cool, especially in the 80s, is that he didn't talk. Okay? And the fact that he's dealing with Scarlet, and she's, in a relationship with a woman, maybe he shouldn't have started talking. Maybe he had something to say that she didn't like that made her turn to the dark side, or half of the dark side. Would I recommend this? Sure. Is it as good as the original series? Hell no. Of course not. The first 100 issues, really, I would say the first 50 issues of the original series was great. I read issue 14 through 50, and it was sprinkled in some other the books before that. But really, those are the books you need to get, if you can get them. Impossible to get. Because obviously, all the kids that watched the cartoon, bought the books, bought the comics, are old enough to buy this stuff. It's interesting that all three ways that they put out this product, the cartoon, the toys, the comic, they were all great. This was a great property, an excellent property. Everything succeeded. Everything succeeded. Every single thing that Larry touched with this particular property was gold. It's good to see that it's doing well now, but gotta be careful with Kirkman and what he wants to put out there. Well, let me know what you think about this video. And of course, please subscribe to the Comic Book Hut. I'll see you later.